And welcome everybody to another edition of the Brody File. We're glad you're with us. We are here in Washington, D.C. It's the stuffy old studio, but boy, oh boy, Donald Trump, New York, cue the music. Forget it, low budget, we have no music. But I was thinking Frank Sinatra, New York, I tell you what, Donald Trump did it again. He won big in New York, 90 delegates or so. They're still counting, they're always counting delegates, counting chads. Anyhow, Donald Trump winning New York, and a big reset for him in his home state after a debacle, whatever you want to call it, in Wisconsin. But he comes through with shining colors, big 90 delegate victory, and boy, Donald Trump talking like a presidential candidate. Listen to this.
We don't have much of a race anymore based on what I'm seeing on television. Senator Cruz is just about mathematically eliminated. And we've won another state. As you know, we have won millions of more votes than Senator Cruz.
Donald Trump looking presidential there, calling Ted Cruz Senator Ted Cruz instead of lying Ted Cruz, as he likes to do. So, who knows? I mean, he looks like he's recalibrating, trying to tone it down a little bit and not go retweet happy. We'll see if it continues to play out as we move all the way through California on June 7th, because that's where this is going. Now, where do we go from here? Well, it's about the delegates. Frankly, yes, it's about the popular vote in all these states, but there's another process, the delegate process. How to explain it? We're going to have some of that in a moment. But first, I'm like, what's the deal with the delegates? We got to explain it. Well, for millennials, it's more like, what's the haps? At least that's according to Abby Robertson with our new segment, What's the Haps?
What's the haps right now? Well, this week there's been a lot of chatter over whether or not the Republican Party is headed to a contested convention in Cleveland. Personally, I don't fully understand what that means. So I've decided I'm going to hit the streets of Washington and ask some of the brilliant minds around our nation's capital to explain it to me. When you hear the phrase contested convention thrown out there, what do you think that even means, and what do you think that process is like?
I actually have a lot of questions about how the delegates, the super delegates, work on both the Republican and the Democratic side.
When you hear the phrase contested convention, what do you think that even means?
I don't really know how that would play out in this day and age with a contested election.
When you hear them talk about contested nomination, what's your understanding of what that process is?
So my understanding is if Donald Trump or Ted Cruz doesn't have the delegates needed to just get the nomination flat out, they'll go to a contested convention and they'll have some rounds of voting for the delegates. After the first round of voting, that's already the delegates that have been devoted to them, and then the second round, everybody's saying, Donald Trump can't secure the delegates because people can pick and choose who they want to send it to. So whether they pick, Marco Rubio, or obviously Paul Ryan said he doesn't want it, but if it's a contested, I'm sure it'll be a highly contested debate.
Yeah, I'm still not convinced I understand this whole contested, brokered convention thing. Brody, break it down for us.
All right. By the way, I like how you called me Brody there, Abby. Hey, I kind of feel it's a little slick. I don't know. So what is the haps, or what's the haps with delegates? Well, here's a little explainer done only in the way the Brody File knows how to. All right, here we go. Get ready for a few brain cramps, everybody. Stick with me. I'm going to try to make this as painless as possible. First up, the terms. Contested versus brokered convention. What exactly is a contested convention? Well, first of all, let's get this out of the way first. It's not this. No boxing ring, but that doesn't mean there's not going to be a lot of bad blood. Contested means we go to the convention in Cleveland and nobody has that magic number of 1,237 delegates to win on the first ballot. So if nobody wins on the first vote, well, guess what? We move on to a second vote. And at that point, it becomes a brokered convention. No, not because the Brody File crew ran out of money in Cleveland, not that type of broke. It's brokered because that's where the wheeling and dealing starts to take place. Voting until someone gets to 1,237. Will it be Trump, Cruz, or maybe someone completely different who can bring unity like Speaker of the House Paul Ryan? Heck, how about the Dalai Lama? Let's just hope it's not like the 1924 Democratic Convention in New York. It took 103, that's right, 103 ballots to finally choose a nominee. By the way, that's 102 too many. All right, now let's talk about the delegates. It can be very complicated, more complicated than even the hardest math problem, or even the NFL playoff tie-breaking system. But let's start with this. When the delegates show up in Cleveland, they're going to have to do two things. Obviously, first, they're going to have to go visit the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's a given. But then, they're going to have to abide by how their state voted. So, for example, let's take Michigan. Trump won 25 delegates. Cruz won 17. So that means 25 delegates must vote for Trump in Cleveland on the first ballot, and 17 have to vote for Cruz. But what if nobody wins on the first ballot? Well, guess what, folks? All bets are off. Most delegates in the states are pretty much free to vote for whoever they want. And then, folks, it becomes a free-for-all. All right, maybe not food flying or like the Taiwanese parliament, but close. The wheeling and dealing starts. Delegates start talking about switching, and who knows, we may even have some rock, paper, scissors, shoot deliberations playing out on the floor. I don't know. This is where Ted Cruz's team has been on their A game, because what they've been doing for the last year is talking to these delegates to vote for Cruz on the second ballot. And they've also actually been finding people to run as delegates that would support Cruz after being obligated to vote for Trump on that first ballot. Meanwhile, the Trump team has been playing catch-up. Anyhow, back to the ballot situation. So look, after a first ballot, then comes a second ballot, hey, maybe a third ballot. We just keep going and going, and even going until someone, Cruz, Trump, Ryan, Justin Bieber, hey, never say never. Whoever gets to 1237, or until the rapture comes. It could be like the game of Monopoly that never ends. Oh yeah, one more thing that's going to make your head literally explode. Remember when we said the delegates pretty much have to vote for how their state voted? Right, well, that's true, except there are going to be about 200 delegates that actually arrive in Cleveland unbound. That means they can vote for whoever they want. Take Pennsylvania, for example. You see, they have 71 delegates up for grabs. The winner of the state is actually going to win 17 delegates. But what about the other 54? Well, guess what? They're not committed to anyone. They can vote for whomever they like. And that's where it really gets interesting. Why? Well, because the Trump and Cruz campaigns are going to call them up, try to convince them to vote for their guy on the first ballot. Legally, they can offer lots of perks like dinner, maybe a free spa treatment at a Trump luxury hotel. Heck, I don't know, even a free hayride with Ted Cruz. Hey, that's exciting. Actually, this is all true. They can wine and dine them, just no money exchanging hands. That, nope, is a no-no. So think about it. If Trump comes in 50 delegates shy of 1237, you can be sure he's going to be, quote, working the room, trying to make sure those unbound delegates vote for him on the first ballot. Otherwise, I don't know, he may threaten to send them to Mexico. Who knows? And let's just conclude with this. If Trump doesn't get to 1237 on that first ballot, he's probably in trouble. Why? Because not only has Cruz's team found delegates that are actually going to switch to their guy on the second ballot, but most of the time, these delegates are folks that have been around politics for a while. And that hurts Trump, because those type of delegates would probably be less likely to support Trump as the process moves forward. So did you get all that?
Anyone?
Don't worry about it. There's not going to be a test. And at least this won't happen to you.
You're fired. Go.
It's going to be hot in Cleveland. There it is, the delegate explainer done a la Brody File style. All right, when we come back, to Flint, Michigan we go. Amber C. Strong on the ground there, discussing the water crisis and how the church is coming to the rescue. She has that story when we come back. And welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File show here from D.C. Well, look, the Flint water crisis, you've obviously heard of that horrible contaminated water down there. The governor says, hey, just to prove it to y'all, I'm going to drink the water. I'm going to drink the filtered water. But skeptics say there's still problems with the filters, so we're going to see about that. Amber C. Strong visited Flint, Michigan, and saw firsthand how the church is lending a helping hand.
With each sip of water, Otilia Brank takes a risk.
I'm afraid, to drink water. So with the water, I pray for it before, I drink.
While people here take the gamble, politicians play the blame game for this humanitarian crisis.
A water expert at the federal EPA tried to raise the alarm in February 2015, and he was silenced.
There were people, more than one, that were making decisions and thinking that, well, maybe Flint isn't who we should go out on a limb for. Are you kidding me?
While politicians here on the Hill battle it out, the crisis actually began 2 years ago in Flint. That's when the city decided to switch from the Detroit water supply to the Flint River. And it wasn't too long afterwards that residents began to notice a difference. Big time. In October 2014, the GM plant stopped using Flint water after it began corroding its car parts. Since then, the finger pointing has been nonstop. Flint's former mayor, Dane Walling, says the Department of Environmental Safety assured him the water was safe.
It's your standard tap water.
Republicans blame the EPA. The EPA point to resistance at state and local levels. At the state level, accusations continue against Michigan Governor Rick Snyder for ignoring warning signs about high lead levels. Snyder says he trusted state officials who told him the water was fine.
The Department of Environmental Quality assured us that Flint's water was safe. It wasn't.
Plausible deniability only works when it's plausible, and I'm not buying that you didn't know about any of this until October 2015. You were not in a medically induced coma for a year.
Meanwhile, residents saw a spike in Legionnaire's disease, hair loss, and E. coli. All of this before people like Otilia received official warnings about the toxic water. With all the blame going around, the people of Flint are tired of words. They need a solution.
The smell is in the bathroom and the water from the faucet. I smell it kind of, like it's wasted.
Despite the smell, Otilia says she still bathes in the water because she doesn't have another option.
Bathing, yes, I use the water because I don't have enough water, to go around.
And like a stream in a desert place, the church shines like a beacon of hope, donating water and other necessities by the truckload.
There you go. God bless you.
Churches like El Shaddai Assembly of God, where pastors like Abe Garcia lead the way.
We're a smaller church, but we always want to do something. We always want to reach out to our community. And so we just started devising it, praying and getting a plan together. And in January is when we just wanted to become a water distribution center.
And that's exactly what they did. With 30% of Garcia's congregation directly affected by the toxic water, they got the ball rolling with a seed offering from the Latin Assemblies of God. Then the help really poured in.
We got connected with Catholic Charities, which is located here in Flint as well. And they have a great water distribution center going on there. They're doing awesome work, and so we connected with them. They're supplying a lot of the water that we have here. We're also getting water from churches in Detroit. There's a church in Detroit, it's Eternal Rock. They're going to be bringing us water as well. We have water. We had a delivery 2 Saturdays ago from a church in Grand Rapids, a Hispanic church.
And soon Christians from around the country of various denominations and backgrounds began helping those in need, not only at El Shaddai, but at churches throughout the city. Despite the gloomy situation, Garcia says he's seizing the opportunity to distribute the most important water of all, the living water.
The most important water that you need is the water of life that comes from Jesus. Jesus is that water. And so we talked about the encounter of Jesus and the Samaritan woman, how she came and she needed both types of water, most importantly the spiritual water. And then also she needed to draw water from the well.
The work and love by the Flint churches goes a long way with residents like Otilia. And while back in Washington, politicians look to place the blame, Otilia says her eyes are fixed on God and her heart is full of thanks.
It's a lot of hassle, going out to get water, to have water enough, for cooking and stuff like that. Thank God for this. Should I provide for?
Amber Strong for the Brody File.
Amber C. Strong, Brody File in Flint, Michigan. All right, we're back in a moment with Penny Nance. She's feisty and feminine, the CEO of Concerned Women for America, on her new book. Back in a moment. And welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. All right, time now. Look, it's time to get feisty and feminine here on the Brody File. Why? It's the subject, it's the topic, it's the title of the new book, Feisty and Feminine. Penny Nance, the author from Concerned Women for America, and boom, she pops up here on live television. Or it's taped, I don't know what it is. Penny, great to see you.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Feisty and I love the title. Love the title.
And the subtitle, A Rallying Cry for Conservative Women.
Which is
because
really,
it's our time.
Well, tell me about these Esther women that you talk about.
Yeah, you know, the feminists have it wrong on so many levels, David. You know, they want to somehow make women feel like they're victims, cast us as victims. The truth is that women in this country are doing fantastic overall. We're getting the majority of college degrees, graduate degrees. We're running 7.9 million businesses, employing almost 8 million people, making $1.4 trillion a year. Yeah, listen, it's not perfect. Nothing's perfect, but in my case, I came from, you know, a family that came from abject poverty, and 2 generations rose to the level where I get to be here with you and talk to our nation's leader. Only in America can you do that. But we're at a tipping point in this nation. We're at a point where if conservative women don't speak up and become the Esthers of this generation, then our children, our grandchildren, future generations are going to suffer. And so where much is given, much is required. But, you know, too often, and I, at the first of this book, I tell a story that I think people will find humorous about it, how even I got caught in a moment where you know, the left made me feel uncomfortable and embarrassed.
At that cocktail
I didn't.
party,
Yeah, I really did. I was at an event for my husband's work and surrounded by liberals who felt free to denigrate my beliefs right to my face. And the funny thing is, they didn't even know what I did for a living. I was just a normal person who happened to mention that my daughter someday would like to work for Fox News. So they took that and ran with that, and it was code to them for conservative. And you know, I left feeling so hurt, and I realized, wait a minute. If I feel this way, there's got to be millions of women across the country who, during these hot button issues, life, marriage, support for Israel, pornography, the denigration of women that's happening in the Middle East, you know, all these issues, all these hard issues, we're stuck kind of looking at our shoes. We've got to arm ourselves, and that's what this book is for.
Perception about conservative women out there. I know this book addresses that head on.
Yeah.
And really starting with the title, Feisty and Feminine, because quite frankly, you listen to mainstream media, the liberals out there will hear Feisty and Feminine and think, you know, progressive, liberal women. They'll never think of that as with conservative women. Tell me a little bit about the perceptions you try to break down and make sure that people understand really what conservative women stand for.
Yes, you know, the stereotype of the Saturday Night Live church lady, who, by the way, was hilarious, like, you know, and that's shocking enough that we actually watch Saturday Night Live sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I really wanted to take on, because I know these women. These are my members. They're funny, they're educated, they're edgy, they're wise, and they love God, and they love Jesus, and they're so in love with their country. And I really wanted to take on sort of the stereotype that we didn't know what was going on, that we're not really in the culture, we don't understand the culture. And of course, maybe we have those moments because we're not of this culture. But the women that I know in the conservative Christian women could walk into any event room and light up the room, and I'm so proud to get to speak for them. I can't believe, coming from where I come, a pastor's daughter from Appalachia, that God chose me. I mean, I say that with all sincerity.
Yeah, I believe it.
I can't believe that I've been given this opportunity.
It's just a wonderful, and
Thank
God
you.
putting you on this national perch like this.
It's amazing. I never would have seen it coming. I never would have been able to dream it. But when you give your life to God, the path He chooses for you is so much bigger than anything that you could choose for yourself. And
Penny, thanks so much
Thank
for being
you.
here. Appreciate it. We're back in a moment with more here on the Brody File. And welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. All right, look, let's take a look ahead, shall we, to what comes next in this presidential craziness that we call a GOP primary election. 2 big states on the horizon. Yes, there are more than these 2 states, obviously, but we are focused in on Indiana and California. Indiana, 57 delegates, very important. Ted Cruz needs a reset there, especially after New York and some of the other states that he's probably not going to do very well in the Northeast. So he's looking to the heartland, to Indiana, to hopefully have conservative Christians come to his rescue out there, a very conservative and Christian state Donald Trump should do well in the South there, but evangelicals clearly are going to play a role in Indiana. If Donald Trump is going to get to 1237, he's going to have to do pretty well in Indiana. He might not be able to win the state, but he's definitely going to have to pick up some delegates out there. Then to California, 172 delegates, June 7th. This is the big one. It's all going to come down to California, and the reality is this. If Donald Trump can do very, very well and haul in a lot of delegates in California, he'll probably get to that 1237. And if he doesn't, he'll come up about 5, 10, 15 or so delegates short. And at that point, there's no way on earth the Republican National Committee is not going to make sure he gets that nomination in Cleveland. By the way, evangelicals will play a very important role in California. You know, evangelicals make up about 10 to 15 or so % of the total population in California, but when it comes to Republican primary voters, they being evangelicals, will be 42% of voters out there. So California and evangelicals, Trump and Cruz, it's all coming down to June 7th. I can't wait. I'm getting toppled down. Back in a moment. And welcome back, everybody, to the Brody File. All right, time for, we haven't done it in a while, it's the Oy vey moment of the week, and it's a classic Donald Trump Oy vey moment of the week. Well, here we are, Fisk Elementary School. The boys getting ready to do something at the talent show, kind of like with Donald Trump. Well, there you see them. They're doing the whole thing with the dance and the Trump heads. I actually find it hilarious. Some parents did not think it was funny at all. They didn't like the Trump heads dance thing, whatever. So they complained to the principal, and the principal told the boys, you either remove the Trump heads or you're out of the contest. And indeed, the boys said, we're out, we're gone. And so, no Trump heads, no boys there in the elementary school performing a fun little Oigavolt. Are you kidding me? Come on, folks. It's just a bunch of bobblehead Trump little boys in elementary school. Give me a break. That does it for this week, everybody. Until next time, God bless. Have a great week.